Hi guys, my name is Amanda, and for my teaching assignment, I decided to do it on what are the most important factors in persuasion. First off, what is persuasion? It is the action or act of persuading someone or being persuaded to do or believe something. Scientists have been studying what persuades people to say yes for over 60 years, and there is no doubt that it comes down to a science how we are persuaded. The most important factors in persuasion that guide our decisions would be reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and consensus. Reciprocity is the obligation to give back what you have received from others. An example of this would be a waiter providing excellent service, influencing you to leave a good tip. Another example would be if a waiter leaves 1 mint on the table, but then comes back and leaves a second mint and says, "You guys have been great, here's some extra mints for you." This would then want the customers to leave him a good tip. Scarcity is when people want more of what there's less of. An example of this would be when the British Airways told people they were going to be stopping their twice daily route from London to New York because it was uneconomical. Sales took off the very next day. Another good example of this would be if Starbucks stopped selling their pumpkin spice latte, it would make everyone want to go out to buy one last pumpkin latte just because they knew that it wasn't going to be available anymore. Authority is when people will follow the lead of credible and knowledgeable experts. An example of this is when doctors, therapists, anybody that's in that's like a higher person would be able to persuade their clients to comply with their programs by displaying diplomas and awards on the wall of their offices. It would make people think that they have a great background and must be smart, so they should listen to what they say. Consistency is activated by looking for and asking for small initial commitments that can be made. An example of this would be when seeking to influence using the consistency principle, the influencer looks for voluntary, active, and public commitments and gets those in writing. Liking. This is when people prefer to say yes to those that they like. The example of this would be to harness this power principle of liking, look for areas of similarity that you share with others and genuine compliments you can give. People find it hard to say no to people that they like or care for because they don't want to disappoint them, so they say yes. A lot of this happens in families. If somebody asks you to do something, and even though you don't want to do it, you're not going to say no because you don't want to hurt their feelings or you don't want them to be disappointed. Consensus is when people look to the actions of others to determine their own. I think this happens a lot in classroom settings. So an example would be that science is telling us that rather than relying on our own ability to persuade others, we can point to what others are already doing, especially many similar others. So yeah, the example would be in a classroom setting, people don't want to raise their hand when asked a certain question in fear of being the only one with their hand up. So they look to see if anybody else has their hand raised. The same would go for people that have to participate. If the teacher asks someone if they want to share or want to participate, they might look around the room, and then if some people have already participated, it might make their decision a little bit easier. And these are my sources. This is where I got all my information from, this website right here.